Right now, in your kitchen, a small, humble vegetable is firing a chemical weapon directly at your face, and you are losing. You are standing there, eyes streaming, blinking like you just got hit with pepper spray, defeated by an onion. And here is the part that should genuinely bother you. The onion did not panic. The onion executed a plan. Because an onion is not strong. An onion is not spicy. An onion sitting whole on your counter is doing absolutely nothing to your eyes, and never will. The thing that makes you cry does not exist yet. It is a booby trap. And you, holding the knife, are the one who arms it. You build the weapon, then you stand directly in the blast radius. So, let me show you the machine, because it is genuinely one of the most elegant pieces of chemical warfare in your refrigerator. The whole trick is that the onion keeps its weapon disassembled. The ingredients are real. They are loaded, but they are stored in separate rooms that never touch. Nothing happens until something with teeth or a knife breaks in. Inside an intact onion cell, there are two things kept deliberately apart. In one compartment, the onion stores a stockpile of special sulfur-containing molecules, amino acid sulfoxides, harmless on their own. In a different compartment sits an enzyme called Alliinase, a tiny molecular machine. As long as those two stay in separate rooms, the onion is just a sad vegetable. Inert, safe. Then you do the one thing the whole system is waiting for. You cut it. Your knife shears through thousands of cells and shatters the walls between those two rooms. The sulfur molecules and the enzyme, kept apart your onion's entire life, suddenly slammed together in a flood. You did not slice a vegetable. You pulled a pin. The reaction starts the instant the cells rupture. Here is step one of the assembly line. That enzyme, Alliinase, grabs the sulfur molecules and snips them apart. And in doing so, it produces an unstable, twitchy intermediate compound called a sulfenic acid. This stuff is reactive and short-lived, the chemistry equivalent of a half-built bomb sitting on the table. On its own, it would just fall apart into smelly nothing. That is not the weapon. Not yet. And for a long time, scientists thought that was the whole story. Enzyme makes reactive goo, goo makes gas. You cry. Simple. But it turns out the onion is craftier than that, because there is a second enzyme waiting in the wreckage, and its entire job, its one purpose in life, is to grab that unstable sulfenic acid before it can fizzle out into something harmless. This second enzyme has a name that tells you exactly what it is for. It is called lachrymatory factor synthase. Lachrymatory means tear-producing. Synthase means it builds something. So the literal translation of this enzyme's name is tear weapon builder. The onion is not accidentally making you cry. It evolved a dedicated, specialized enzyme whose only function is to manufacture a chemical that attacks eyes. Scientists in Japan only nailed this down in 2002. Before that, everyone assumed the tear gas just formed by itself. Instead, they found this purpose-built enzyme that takes the unstable sulfenic acid and rearranges it into the actual payload. A small, volatile molecule called syn-propanethial-S-oxide. Volatile is the key word. It does not stay on the cutting board. It lifts off and flies as a gas straight up toward the warm, wet targets on your face. And it is aimed, in a sense. The gas is light and it rises, and what is conveniently hovering right above the onion while you chop, leaning in to see what you are doing. Your eyes. Two warm, wet, exposed targets, perfectly positioned. The weapon drifts up off the board and finds the moisture on the surface of your eye. And that is where the second half of the attack happens. Your eye is coated in a thin film of tears, which is mostly water. And this gas, syn-propanethial-S-oxide, reacts with that water. When it does, it turns into a mild acid right there on the wet surface of your eyeball. Not enough to actually hurt you, your eye is fine, but enough to lower the pH on the surface and chemically poke the highly sensitive nerve endings sitting in your cornea. Your cornea, the clear dome on the front of your eye, is one of the most densely nerve-packed pieces of tissue you own. It has to be, because it is the bodyguard for your vision. It is wired to scream at the faintest hint of anything wrong. Dust, a lash, a chemical. So when a mild acid forms on it, those nerves do exactly what they are built for. They sound the alarm. Intruder. Now. And here is the beautiful part. The twist nobody gives your body credit for. Those streaming tears you are blaming yourself for. That humiliating leaking. That is not you breaking down. That is your body's counterattack. Your eyes detected an incoming chemical agent, and they immediately deployed their defense. Flood the area. Wash the weapon off the cornea before it can do real damage. So flip the whole seam in your head. You are not the loser crying in your kitchen. You are a battlefield. The onion launched a volatile acid-forming gas at your most sensitive tissue, and your eyes responded with a rapid, automatic flushing system designed to neutralize exactly this kind of attack. The tears are not weakness. They are your eye wash station firing on schedule. You and the onion are at war, and your body showed up. But step back and ask the obvious question. Why does a vegetable have a tear gas factory in the first place? What is the point? And the answer is the most important part of this whole thing. The onion did not evolve this to ruin your dinner prep. It evolved it for everything that ever tried to eat it before you came along with a knife and a recipe. Onions, garlic, leeks, the entire allium family are plants that live by chemical warfare. They cannot run, they cannot bite, so they fight the only way a rooted thing can, with chemistry. That whole loaded system, sulfur molecules in one room, enzyme in another, is a trap set for any insect, fungus, or hungry animal that bites down and ruptures the cells. The act of being eaten is what triggers the punishment. Think about how clever that is as a defense. If the onion just sat there full of poison gas all the time, it would be a liability, leaking, degrading, wasted. Instead, it stays harmless and stable until the exact moment of attack. Bite into it, and your own chewing mixes the chemicals and detonates the weapon inside your mouth. The onion turns the predator's attack into the trigger for its defense. It uses your bite against you, which means, and you have to appreciate this, the onion is not even aiming at you. You are not the enemy it was designed for. You are collateral damage in a 100-million-year-old war between a plant and the bugs and animals that wanted to eat it. You just happen to be a giant, clumsy creature who deliberately ruptures thousands of its defense cells, on purpose, at close range, with your face hanging directly over the explosion. And once you understand it is a chemical reaction run by enzymes, you understand exactly how to sabotage it. Enzymes are temperature-dependent machines. They work fast when warm and sluggish when cold. So when people tell you to chill the onion in the fridge before cutting, they are not doing folklore. They are slowing the factory down. A cold Alliinase enzyme builds the weapon lazily, so less gas gets made and less reaches your eyes. Same logic for the knife. A dull knife does not slice cells. It crushes them, rupturing way more of them and spilling the chemicals everywhere. One study at Cornell literally tracked the spray off a dull blade and clocked droplets launching at up to 89 miles an hour. A sharp knife makes a clean cut, ruptures fewer cells, mixes less of the two ingredients, and builds a smaller weapon. Your dull knife is not lazy. It is firing on you. And the old trick of cutting near running water or a wet board, that one works because the weapon, the gas, is water-soluble. It would rather dissolve into a nearby pool of water than fly up into the air and find your eye. So, a wet surface acts like a sponge, intercepting the volatile agent mid-flight and pulling it down before it ever reaches your cornea. You are not stopping the factory. You are giving the gas a more tempting target than your face. Put it all together, and the onion stops looking like a strong vegetable and starts looking like what it actually is. A stable, patient delivery system for a chemical weapon with the safety on, waiting. It separates its ingredients so they stay inert. It keeps a specialized enzyme on standby whose only job is to build a tear agent. And it springs the entire trap the instant something cuts it. That is not a smell. That is a designed system. So the next time your eyes start streaming over the cutting board, get the story straight in your head. You did not get beaten by a vegetable that is just naturally strong. You walked up to a loaded chemical warfare booby trap, armed it yourself with a knife, leaned your unprotected eyes directly into the firing line, and triggered a tear weapon that is older than humanity. The onion did exactly what it evolved to do. You volunteered. And honestly, that deserves a little respect. This dumb little bulb in your pantry is carrying a 2-enzyme, 2-compartment, acid-forming, eye-seeking defense system that scientists were still figuring out in this century. It is a tear gas grenade that looks like an ingredient, so cry if you have to. Just cry knowing the truth. You are not weak. You picked a fight with a vegetable that has been winning this exact battle for 50 million years. Pin pulled. Eyes closed. Onion wins again.